Hey, hi, this is Sandeep, and in the previous tutorial, if you remember, we actually developed this EMP job view, and we implemented a view accessor, and with the help of it, we were actually accessing the employee IDs based on particular job ID from the employee table, right? So actually, there may be some other business scenario also in which you could have multiple LOVs itself. That is to say, in the employee IDs, right now you are using this as the data source, and you are using this list of values, and you are getting this employee ID and displaying it, right? So you're getting some set of employee IDs and displaying it. It may happen that based on a different scenario, you would have to provide a completely different list of values of employee IDs here. Okay, but based on some scenario, just imagine a situation in which you have given a kind of a option to the user whether to create his detail or to update his detail. So if he creates his detail, you would want some list of values to give him some particular list of values, LOVs, some drop down. You would want a drop down to give him some particular list of values. But if the user selects to update his record, you may want him to present it with the drop down of some other list of values. So basically, the main logic that I'm trying to explain you here is that there may be a business scenario in which this employee ID itself has to be presented in different ways. That is to say, in one situation it has to be a list of values, in another situation it has to be completely another set of list of values. So let's go ahead and see this. Right now we are getting the employee's ID filtered, I mean based on the job ID. There may be a situation where you don't have to filter it, right? So let's just create that situation. So we have got one list of values already with this accessor, with this data source. So let's define one more, and one more we will define one more employee, basically this EMPVO. See, basically what has been defined, okay, if you go to the view accessors here, this I have defined in free. I mean, I'll just delete this. uh, 1 second. Yeah, now we are perfect ahead. Actually, that view accessor that just now I have deleted, I created it by mistake, so I have deleted it, I've taken it off. I'll just run this in order to see whether it's running fine or not. Okay, so I have checked it, it's working fine. Okay, so now I was explaining you that one list of values we have already defined here. There may be a situation where we need to have all list of values. I mean, here we are filtering employee IDs based on the job ID and displaying here. Let's have a situation in which we want to display all the employee IDs. So we'll just say I need to add one more list of values, and I need to define one more accessor. We won't use the same accessor because this has been already modified to have that view criteria inside it. So I will select this. So this time employees view 2 is the accessor name, and employee ID is this, and I want to display employee ID only. Click OK. So now that we have defined one more, okay, so these bunch of options have come across here. Okay, what it is telling you is that list of values. Now which value you want to actually select, and here is the switcher. Okay, so when the switcher is none, right, then what you need to do, you need to specify which one is default. For example, right now if you run this, it will take this list of values as the default and it will run. If you want to take the default as this, you can do that also. Okay, so this is one way of maintaining multiple values and then displaying whatever you want at runtime. You can have all these in buffer and don't even use it. Now the other way is that on the runtime itself it decides which value to take. I mean, our discussion itself was based on the fact that we want to display this list of values in some situations and another list of values in some other situations, right? So what we will have here as switcher, I mean, I will define a kind of a column which would return. Actually, we would need to define a switcher kind of attribute here. Okay, that attribute, whatever it returns, if it returns this string, then this list of values would be used. If it returns this string, then this value would be used. So basically, I'm gonna define one switcher here, new attribute. I'm gonna say it as simple switcher. Okay, and it's going to be an expression here, and I would say this is my expression. So this would say if first name is equal to new, if I'm entering first name in the new, then use this list of values, otherwise use this list of values. So based on this new or not, if this is a new, then I'll use this list of values. If it is not new, then I'll use this list of values. Okay, I'll just test. It says okay. I will just select first name here across because this condition is dependent on this new. Click OK here. Okay, basically go inside this. What happens is once you define this transient attribute, right, you go inside this, this value is gone actually. So again you need to do the same thing what I have done. This is a kind of a shortcoming or kind of a loophole or kind of a bug inside the JDev that they have to correct it. Maybe in the future releases they would correct. Now here always employee ID, oh sorry, not employee ID, oops, just the first name. So it's all same that I am doing, I'm just repeating myself. Apply. Okay, so now if you see inside this, this is appearing, right? So based on the first name itself, I mean what I have done here, I have defined a column switcher. So what this switcher will do, whatever string the switcher would return, that list of values is going to be used under the employee ID, right? So here in the switcher you can write whatever condition you want. I mean you can even write a kind of a condition using the ADF Groovy expressions, that if the user is creating record, then display this list of values or display another list of values if he is updating the record, right? So based on the Groovy expression, so here just for an example I have taken a simple Groovy expression and tried to see if the first name is new, then I'll use one. The basic funda which what I'm trying to tell you is that based on the based on some condition, whatever the condition may be, I can display multiple list of values. Okay, so here is the switcher that I have defined, and I will see employee ID here, and then in the value switcher, in this I will just select my switcher. So what now will happen, this is my switcher, and whatever this would return, if this returns this, yes, employee ID, yes, if this switcher returns this value, then this list of values would be used in the employee ID drop down list. If this switcher returns this string, then this list of values would be used in the employee ID attribute. Okay, so let's go ahead, save all these things and try to run this and see what happens. So here is our output, here is our EMP job view, and yep, so right now it is calculating it like this. So if you see the drop down, only this is present. If you say new here, okay, see now it has calculated another way, and now if you click, all the bunch of the values have come, right? Now if you say new one and again just tab it out, the another list of values is calculated and it's only 206. If you scroll through it, here also you can check right now only two records are displayed. If you say new, just tab it, and now see all bunch of values happening. So as you see, as you are just changing this value based on this attribute only, my switcher is calculated. In the enterprise application probably this won't happen, that based on the first name I'm calculating. I'm just trying to show a simple example here that with the help of this switcher I have supplied a Groovy expression to this attribute switcher. In that Groovy expression you can give whatever you want, and based on that condition, my condition is based on this first name, and based on your condition, whatever you would like to give, you can control the drop down list over here. Okay, so this is all about the list of values. I hope this was a good tutorial. I'll see you in the next tutorial.